And we live, yo. Boy Mike says Ya Clout Podcast. Live every 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He on niggas with an exclusive top 10 Bone Thugs and Harmony songs like about a couple hours ago. So right now we're doing top 10 Public Enemy songs as always.
Are we?
Crew.
I thought we were doing discography.
Yeah. Long day. Long day.
I was taking shit out of it.
As always, I got the fellas with me, man. Mobility One. What's popping?
Peace. That's the word, my G.
Yeah, chilling, my nigga. We got Ross Hartley, man, but ways in Northern Ireland.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Good to be here. Cheer.
Cheer.
Yeah, last week, we did MC it, and
that was fun.
That was fun. I wish I was there live for that, but I made my list, so I was like, "Fuck it," you know what?
Yeah, and it was a dope list too. So
I
think we all had dope lists.
Everybody did. Everybody did their thing, man.
Like I said, it's consistent. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Before we get into this, I want to give a happy birthday to my girl, Melissa.
Oh, happy birthday.
Birthday queen.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if she'll be in here later, probably. Shout out to my nigga Brandon. Salute, the real one.
7 likes? Okay.
Yeah, we're in the building. We're in the building. Yeah, man. Public Enemy Discography, 8794, man.
Yes, sir.
What we do when we talk about the artist, how we got into that particular artist. I told the story on the show a million fucking times, but I'll do it again for the sake of the show, man.
No doubt.
That's one of the first albums I ever heard in full. Uncle had the vinyl of Yo Bomber's Show from 1987, and you're gonna get yours. That just as soon as I heard that, I like that. That's what I thought. My 98 stuff to chase and then the whole fucking floor. My grandma had this old fashioned 70s stereo,
the long joint, right? The long,
big motherfucker
with the big speakers, like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, you pull it open like that, like you're opening an oven or some shit.
Yep.
And you put the motherfucking vinyl in, and the fucking floor was shaking, bro. The bass was crazy, and I just blew my mind. Boom, that and Long Live the King, and the 12-inch to Lottie Dottie, Ricky D and Dougie Fresh, like it was a wrap. But that's the first time I heard Public Enemy. Then I started getting the cassettes around that time,
Mm-hmm.
I got that, and It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, and it was a wrap from then on, One of my favorite groups of all time, point blank period. Legends. How'd you get in them, Steve?
All right, just a disclaimer. Once again, I said in the show before on the Bone Thugs, I remember my friend's house, my boy's crib. He has 3 dogs. So if you hear some barking, I allow you guys to mute me or I'll mute myself. So just a disclaimer on that.
It's all good.
So to answer your question, Mike, how I got into Public Enemy was early 90s, almost like 91, Yo MTV Raps. The first song I heard from them was either Brother's Gonna Work It Out or Can't Trust It. And those 2 songs always stuck out to me. And I fucking love both of those songs. That's what made me a fan of Public Enemy. And then as I got older, started getting the CDs. I don't remember what album I got from theirs first. I want to say I got Greatest Misses, which is a compilation album, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. That came out in 92. Dope remixes and some like songs that were recorded around the Pops 91 era, that kind of thing. But man, and then ever since I was starting getting more and more of this stuff, and then and been a fan since. Just like Chuck D's voice and his commanding voice, and then Flavor Flav, his crazy self, and it's like one of the best hype man in the world, man. Just music in general, but that's how I got into Public Enemy. And if you guys get a chance, hopefully when this whole COVID shit dies down. I highly recommend you guys check them live, man, because they are fucking dope live, and they still got it. In their 50s and 60s, they still got it. So that's my thoughts on Public Enemy.
Oh, yeah, brother.
But
yeah, for me, I can't remember exactly when I first heard them, but I definitely heard them when I was probably, kid going into teenage years. First song that I ever heard was "Don't Believe the Hype." That was the first one I ever heard, and shortly after that, I saw the video for "Fight the Power," and I thought that that was dope. But as far as getting into the music, like proper albums go, for me it was Take Some Nation of Millions. Of course, their biggest, most famous album. And it was a wrap from there. And when a really fun fact about Public Enemy for me, the first CD that I bought hip hop wise was It Takes a Nation of Millions. That was where my hip hop CD collection started. All the way back in 2015, I was inspired watching, people like Immobility One, people like Mike Sears, and of course, that's what gave me the bug. You know what I mean? I was like, let's get into this. So yeah, Public Enemy, that was where it started. It wasn't like a conscious decision, like, oh shit, I'm going to start a CD collection. It just kind of happened. I was like in a music shop. I was just like, you know what? I really like this album. I'm going to pick it up. And then all of a sudden it grew from there. I was like, oh shit, it's taken over. So Public Enemy, one of my favorite groups of all time, and very kind of important to me as well, for sure.
Oh yeah, great choice to start your CD collection, if anything.
Oh yeah,
and which inspired him for his avatar on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Public Enemy logo. So
yeah, that's why I had that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it also fit perfectly in the little YouTube circle. The logo. So
for sure.
Yeah. We get down with this, man. Public Enemy, 1987, the debut album, Your Bum Rush the Show. 1987, man. That album cover just iconic,
Mm-hmm.
Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Professor Griff, Terminator X, the S1Ws. I love that album cover right there. My uncle had the vinyls. As a kid, I just stood at this shit, just like marveling in it. And then the album is amazing to me. You're gonna get yours, as I talked about on the top of the show. Just that production, the Shockleys, the Bomb Squad is just A1. With their production, incredible. Sophisticated Bitch, I love that song. So sophisticated,
Down.
Yeah, that beat is crazy. Then we get, Music Wears a Ton. Love that song. MPE, the title track. Terminator X speaks with his hands. Just phenomenal album. I love Chuck D on this record. It sounds like he's rapping through a megaphone, but in a good way. In a good way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Flavor Flav, his shit talking and his little raps in here, perfection as well. Def Jam, they were signed to. I always say I respect. They call it like the true hip hop, like the Curtis Blows, the fucking, the Melly Mells, all them niggas, Grandmaster Flash Furious 5. I respect that, like some songs, but to me, hip hop didn't get amazing until like 87. You know what I'm saying? I love License to Ill from the Beasties in 86, but like this and Criminal Minded and Paid in Full and
Bigger and
Deffer is so fucking good. That needs a remaster, and that sounds so low. But
it does, yeah.
It's so bad, right?
Yeah.
But Your Bum Rush the Show is amazing. Like we do every album, like we did the Kane. I give my rating of the album in the top 3 songs. So for me, on Your Bum Rush the Show, you're gonna get yours. Sophisticated Bitch and MPE. It's a 5 micer for me because it's so special to me. It's one of the first albums I ever heard, because before this, it was Michael Jackson and Prince, like in 93, 94 for me, right?
Yeah.
But this is, along with Wu-Tang, this is my, like, love for hip-hop started. So, Your Bum Rush the Show, 1987, man. 5 micer, and I gave my top 3 songs, which is You're Gonna Get Yours, Sophisticated Bitch, and MPE. What you got, Steve? Oh, yeah, man.
All right, man. First off, this was released on my born year, 1987, so I just gave it my age and shit. My first impressions with this album, I just love how dirty and grungy the productions on this album. Despite the mixing on the album, how like Mike just explained how low the majority of the songs are, but I think that's what gives the album its unique impression of the album for the listener. I just love the basement feel of the album. It just sounds like a demo, but it's dope. You know what I mean? Just the impact the album had. Even like when it first came out, with this album, they already had like worldwide fanfare, like worldwide fans. They were doing tours in Europe, like in London in '87. Like that's fucking crazy. Like that's unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were doing tours with Run DMC back in the day, but just them alone, like I mean, you got songs like "You're Gonna Get You," "A Sophisticated Bitch," as Mike mentioned. My Uzi weighs a ton. I fucking love that song. That I like. That shit is just so basement, yo. Like I love that. Time Bomb. That's another of my favorite too. Public Enemy #1. Love that shit. Sidebar. Rampage. He did like the cover version of that song. He killed that shit of his the Scout Sound of Way of Blood on that album '97. Another dope album. Very slept on album. And then, MPE, man. I like this album. It's not my favorite, but I still listen to it. I still bump it, to this day. I give it 5 nights just because of the impact that it had. It's just like the overall feel of the album. Because, I like the dirty, gritty demo feel. So that's what I appreciate about this album. But my top 3 songs that I would have put is You're Gonna Get Yours, My Uzi Weighs a Ton, and Public Enemy #1. Those are my top 3 songs off that album. So that's Yo Bummer Show, 1987.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you guys. I mean, this is a classic debut album. Of course, with Public Enemy, they're known for their kind of like political commentary and stuff like that, which isn't as prevalent on this album. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially like when you put it on the first song, You're Gonna Get Yours. Chuck D's talking about bombing around in his 98 Oldsmobile, you know what I mean? It's not, if you're expecting that same kind of militant stuff they would go on to do later, then you might be a bit like, oh, this is really Public Enemy, this is how they started. But like, I love this album, you know what I mean? And again, with the production, you know what I mean? It's not as frantic as some of their later stuff like that. I like, again, their sort of iconic Bomb Squad production style where it's like just so manic and crazy and there's like 30 different samples going off at once. It's not quite that full on, but yeah, definitely has that kind of basement, kind of rough and ready kind of vibe that you guys alluded to earlier. And yeah, really, really like this album. Chuck D, like you said, one of the greatest voices in hip hop. And yeah, he just sounded, from the beginning, he always just sounded amazing. And yeah, You're Gonna Get Yours is probably my favorite song on the album. Just what a wicked way to kick off. Everything from just that little kind of guitar lick at the start, that and like just during the intro, and when it kicks in, you're just like, with the car engine sounds in the background and everything. It's so dope. I love that song. Sophisticated Bitch, like we said earlier, is just hard, you know what I mean? And My Uzi Weighs a Ton. I love that song too. Get Down. My Uzi Weighs a Ton. Like, you know what I mean? Again, like the title of that might make you think, this is Public Enemy? They have a song called My Uzi Weighs a Ton. Sophisticated Bitch, you know what I mean? It's different from their later stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's so dope. Right Starter. A Message to a Black Man, that's more kind of on the social political tip, you know what I mean? That's definitely more in the vein of some of their later stuff, I would say. I really like that one too. And Public Enemy #1, oh man, it's so classic with that like B kind of whiny B, but it's so dope, you know what I mean? The way Chuck rides that is just perfect, you know what I mean? Yeah, iconic stuff. Great album, great length, you know what I mean? It's about 50 minutes, which is perfect in my opinion. And between this album, Criminal Minded, and Paid in Full, like they all kind of set the stage, you know what I mean? Like they all reinvented the game, but in slightly different ways, you know what I mean? Like production wise, they're all 3 very different albums, but like, yeah, this is just, I don't know, something about this album. It's just one of those ones, like you guys said, you can always go back to. And yeah, I love it. My top 3 songs would be You're Gonna Get Yours, Sophisticated Bitch. I'm gonna go with Public Enemy #1. That's my third one. But yeah, love the whole album, and no weak songs on it. Even Terminator X speaks with his hands at the end. Nice way to end off the album. Yep. So yeah, Yo Bum Rush the Show, and of course that album cover too, absolutely incredible. The Executioners did like a homage to that, right?
Yeah,
yes.
They did.
I have that album. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, they did.
Yeah,
like 02.
Yeah, that's right. It had like the song "It's Going Down," I think.
Yep,
The big hit.
Linkin Park.
Yeah, Mike Shinoda. Yeah.
Yep. Underrated album. It's an album that I don't really hear too many people talk about, but I do notice it does have like a cult following. I do notice that with this album, but yeah, this great album. So dope breakdown from you guys, from everybody, man.
Likewise, brother.
Thank you.
Then by this time, they weren't a household name then. They were this time, man. They graduate. So it takes the nation and millions to hold us back. In my opinion, a top 5 year in hip hop, 1988.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Easily a top 5 year in hip hop. I played this tape to the motherfucking wording faded off on some real shit. I worship this album, man. Such a good record. More political stuff in your fucking face, but it's like fuck the system on this motherfucker. But
right.
Man, the whole Countdown to Armageddon, like the live show, Flavor Flav talking his shit, and bringing the noise is fucking crazy, man. Love that shit. The Bomb Squad's production, A1. Don't believe the hype. It plays like a greatest hits album. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, called Lamping with Flav. I like a lot of Flavor Flav solo songs, man. He's dope.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mind Terrorist, fucking Louder Than a Bomb. Jesus Christ. Black Steel and Hour of Chaos is not just my favorite Public Enemy song.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite songs in music, period, man. Love that shit. Rebel Without a Pause. Fucking, yeah, man. Just a flawless album. A lot of people I know, like, shout out to my nigga Kill and that whole camp, you know, they say this is the greatest hip-hop album of all time, most people.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at it, man.
I'm not mad at that.
I bumped it last week preparing for the show, and I fucking love this album, man. A 5-mic album. That's a no fucking brainer there. And my top 3 songs would definitely be Black Steel and Hour of Chaos, She Watches Channel Zero, and Night of the Living Basshead. With that video was crazy. My uncle had that single, and I would just look at that, like the 12-inch.
Yep.
It's fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Incredible. Well, here it is. Bam.
Damn. It's a dope
in your face, goddamn. Yeah, this is a dope jam. Oh.
So fucking good, man. And like I said, if someone said it's the greatest album of all time, I ain't arguing with it, man. Yeah. You know, She Watches Channel Zero, that sample Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something about South to Heaven. Was it Mandatory Suicide? What the fuck is it? It escapes me. I should be fucking slapped for that. The Slayer's like top 5 band for me, but yeah, amazing, man.
Incredible. Too much music to remember, man. Too much in the
yeah. You know what I listen to, and I smoke a lot of butt, man. Quick story. I got high yesterday. Right? I told Steve this, and I was thinking, man, I would get a little too kooky when I'm high. That's what Martin and Jordan were dying. I was wilding yesterday, talking some crazy shit. But yeah, I'm gonna calm down on that. I be getting too fucking fried. But
Angel of Death.
Angel of Death. Okay.
Yeah.
Off motherfucking Rain and Blood, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I better sit
back. That's Def Jam too.
Yeah, that's Def Jam as well. There's a dope pic my uncle showed me. It's like Tom Araya, Hanneman, Kerry King chilling with like Run DMC and Public Enemy and shit. Beasties are in the picture. Like a big Def Jam photo. Yeah, it's fire. But yeah, man, a 5-micer for me. And if I'll go back to my favorite songs, it's Black Steel and Hour of Chaos, She Watches Channel Zero, and Night of the Living Bassheads, man. Dope. And I'll let these fellas talk. I'll go on and on about this record. It's phenomenal, man. My favorite Public Enemy album too. Cliche, but I don't go fuck.
Hey, fuck it. Yeah, it's a great album.
I can't help it. You know?
Nothing wrong with that, man. Great year, 1988, man. One of the best years in hip hop.
Top 5. For
sure. People sleep on 87 too, though.
It was a pack like 88, though. Oh my god.
No, for sure. All right, so we're gonna go to 1988. Takes the nation and millions to hold us back. Their second album, definitely like their breakthrough album, like Mike said. I mean, yeah, this is when they got a little more political on this album, but it's still like edgy at the same time. I mean, you got songs like Bring the Noise, which, you know, they were like so much remixes for that song. Don't Believe the Hype, I mean, classic right there. Mind Terrorist, Cone Lamper with Flavor, fucking love that. For those that seen the movie Ghost Dog, the scene when the boss, I forgot his name, when he was like brushing his teeth and he's putting on the robe and shit, he's playing that shit, he's reciting the lyrics, and he saw the laser, he met his demise. That shit was playing in the background. Fucking love that. Terminator X to the Edge of the Panic. Love that song.
Oh, yeah.
I said My Terrace already. Louder Than a Bomb. Fucking love that joint. Caught, Can We Get a Witness? Show 'Em What You Got. Night of the Living Bass has its classic. Black Steel and the Hours of Chaos. Rebel Without Applause. Prophets of Rage, which I think is a slept on track right there, man.
Yeah.
5 My Classic. I mean,
Oh God.
you know what I'm saying? Even though there's an album that I prefer over this album, but that's gonna be in a little bit. Top 3 songs for me, it would have to be Terminator X to the Edge of Panic, Show 'Em What You Got, and Black Steel and the Hours of Chaos. Those are my top 3 songs for this album.
Yeah.
A letter from the other day. I opened and read it. He said they were suckers. Come on.
Yeah.
You wanted me for the army or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I say never.
Yeah.
Classic. And that's recorded during like the analog days of hip hop. But that album sounds amazing.
Oh, for sure.
It don't need no remaster. It's loud as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
I got it on vinyl too. I got it for Christmas.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pick that up one day on vinyl.
Yeah.
I only buy the albums that I love. That's all I buy.
No doubt.
Vinyl wise.
Before I talk about It Takes a Nation, I actually just realized that I didn't give a rating to the previous one. So Yo Bum Rush the Show, I'm going to give it 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still a classic, but I'm not going to give it the full 5 because there's a few more I feel like a little better. But
yeah, for sure.
So It Takes a Nation of Millions, of course. I think everyone watching this knows this album. Incredible landmark album. Not just in hip hop, but in music, period. You know what I mean? Like, this is a one of a kind album. There's nothing like this, really. This is, protest music, but like, I think, really anyone can get into this. Like, it's definitely, in your face. It's aggressive, it's edgy, but at the same time, like, it's kind of funky too, you know what I mean? Like, this is music that you can sort of jump up and down to, and people can kind of party to, you know what I mean? It's weird, what I mean, for a group to do that. But absolutely just incredible album. I love the intro, the Countdown to Armageddon. What a way to kick off the album, with the concert. And it just, kicks in to Bring the Noise, It's just such a classic song. Of course, I think the more famous version is the one they did with Anthrax later, but I prefer the original. Bass, How Low Can You Go? Mm-hmm. Death Row, What a Brother Knows. Once again, back, it's the incredible, the rhyminable. Like,
so I got a gun.
Yeah, and I would say, I don't know if you guys would agree with this, but I would say that PE are the most sampled hip hop artists. Hip hop.
Sure.
Like, how many times has Chuck D been sampled just saying yes or whatever? You know what I mean? Just something basic like that, or Flavor Flav said, stay off his stick, or you know what I mean? That's used so many times. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I've seen some people say like Slick Rick and stuff, and I'm like, nah, PA have been sampled so many times. Sure. Even in like other genres of music, I hear people using Flavor Flav and stuff like that. But anyway, Bring the Noise, incredible. Don't Believe the Hype. That was the first song I heard by them. Classic song right there. Mm-hmm. Louder Than a Bomb, that's an underrated one, I think. People don't really talk about that. Caught, Can We Get a Witness? I love how fast-paced that song is. Like, that beat's crazy. And, of course, I'm talking about, at that time, it was kind of a gray area as far as sampling goes. You know what I mean? People hadn't really got hip to, like, the laws and, like, what you can get away with sampling-wise. And that was all, like, brand new at the time. Mm-hmm. I love that song, talking about that stuff. I even love like all the interludes on this album, like Mind Terrorist, Show 'Em What You Got, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? These are dope interludes. I never skip them. They're like the right length as well. Right. And Black Steel and the Aura of Chaos is one of my all-time favorite songs. The music video for it is incredible. You know, of them busting out of the prison and all that. Uses that Isaac Hayes sample, which is very dope, very kind of fly, smooth beat. And yeah, love that song. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, Rebel Without a Pause as well. Oh my goodness. That song with the kind of high-pitched tea kettle kind of sound in the background. I love it. Incredible. So yeah, overall, it's one of those albums, again, absolutely nothing wrong with it for me. It's a perfect 5-mic classic. Every song on it's dope. You know, she watched Channel Zero, like you said, Mike, with the Slayer sample. Like, you know, hip hop at that time, you know, sampling metal, you know what I mean? Like, unheard of, you know. Didn't really happen very often. And, you know, Chuck D just sounded so right over that Slayer riff, you know what I mean? It's just like, it just worked, you know. She watched, you know. Oh, man, it's such an important, vital album, even to this day. You know what I mean? It's, you still listen to it and you're like, this is relevant, this is important, and yeah, amazing album. So my top 3 songs, top 3 songs would be "Bring the Noise," "Black Steel and the Aura of Chaos," and "Rebel Without a Pause." All pretty big ones, but yeah, absolutely incredible album. Love everything about it. So yeah, has to be a 5-micer. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to argue with that.
Oh, hell no. Amazing breakdown too, brother.
Yo, for sure.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it's what, like you said, Mike, it's one of those ones where, like, you can talk about it all day.
Yeah, you just can, man.
Yeah.
You know? Then 89, take a break. But in 89, my favorite movies of all time is released, man. Spike Lee joint.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Right Thing, and you know, Radio Raheem going around with that radio playing motherfucking fight. No, what's the name of that shit again?
Fight the
Power. Fight the Power, yeah. Classic. He's always playing that shit. And 1990, Big Black Planet comes up. Classic, man. Like, this is straight militant as fuck. Fuck racist white people all day. You know what I'm saying? This is like incredible. Love this album, man. You know, a lot of skits are dope in here, but they like, I don't skip them.
Yeah.
Because they play right well to the album. You know, Brother's Gonna Work It Out, one of my favorite songs in here. Woo. 9-1 is a joke from Flavor Flav. That shit is fucking ill and true. You know, Incident at 666 FM and them racist people calling in Howard Stern, talking shit to Public Enemy and shit like that. Welcome to the Terror Dome, man. Fucking amazing. That shit is crazy. Anti-Nigga Machine, great song on there. I love the meaning behind a lot of this shit. Like Burn Hollywood Burn, how blacks are portrayed in Hollywood, man. Either fucking mammy, just fucking grimy gangster shit, just portraying them. They're not successful, not good in the, you know, in the society, just painted fucked up. Still happens to this day, but motherfuckers too stupid to realize that. All that Medea shit is menstrual shit.
God, yeah.
I don't fuck with none of that shit. My family does. I fucking don't fuck with that shit. That's blackface shit in 2021.
Absolutely.
All that dumb shit. And P was talking about that shit in 1990. You know what I'm saying? 31 motherfucking years ago and shit. You know, like I said, Fight the Power was huge on motherfucking Do the Right Thing. And it made this. I hate his editor, though. That pisses me off, you know, because Elvis was a hero the most, but never meant shit to me. The goddamn racist. You know what I'm saying?
Motherfuck him, man,
John Wayne, you know? Most of my heroes appear on no stamp, motherfucker. Like, excellent song.
Yep.
Amazing album. I just love the militant shit on here, man. And just the fucking fuck you to, like, middle America, racist white America. Phenomenal record. 5 mics again.
Oh, yeah.
I worship Fever Black Planet, man. Such a good album. Burn Hollywood Burn featuring motherfucking Ice Cube, Big Daddy Kane. That's my number 1 song in here. Welcome to the Terror Dome and the Flavor Flav. I can't do nothing for you, man.
I love it.
Shout out to Little Italian nigga in Jungle Fever. He pushing that shit. He pushing the whip, bumping that shit. Yeah. You know, epic fucking record, man. 5 mics for me. 1990 Fever Black Planet, classic.
Word. Yeah, this album is what spoke to me when it came to Public Enemy. Like Mike said, you know, very militant. The production is stellar on this album. This album to me is like their most anti-establishment album in their career, in my personal opinion. Just like, on the strength of, Fight the Powers and saying fuck Elvis and John Wayne, which I agree.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, all the videos for them songs are fire, man. I mean, you got songs like Contract on the World of Love Jam. Brother's Gonna Work It Out. Fucking love that song. My introduction to Public Enemy, like I said earlier. What else? 911 was a joke. Yep, very true. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Fucking love that.
Oh my god.
Fucking what's his name? Pharoah Monch redid that song.
He killed it too.
Second album, Desire. Definitely check it out if you guys get a chance. Anti-Nigga Machine, fucking dope. Who Stole the Soul? Fucking love that. Fear of a Black Planet, self-titled track. Can't Do Nothing for You, man. Yo, my favorite Flavor Flav solo track. My personal opinion. I wish he had dropped an album around that time, like 90 to like 92, with that kind of production. Oh my god, I run out of this world. B-side wins again. I've always mentioned that phrase all the time because it's true. B-side wins again. Hence, perfect example. How Did I Kill a Man by Cypress Hill. That was a B-side. So what did I tell you right there? War at 33 1/3 and Fight the Power. And how can I forget Burn Hollywood Burn? I mean, Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted era. Can't go wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? Top 3 songs for me. Well, this is a Five Mike album, and this is my favorite album. I think this is their best album. This is their magnum opus, in my personal opinion. I know most people will disagree with me on that.
Oh yeah.
More on the Nations of Millions, which it is what it is. But my top 3 songs for me is Brother's Gonna Work It Out, Can't Do Nothing for You, Man, and Burn Hollywood Burn.
And they got some rowdies on that
one. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, this album, absolutely incredible. For me, this album feels even, larger in terms of scale than It Takes a Nation. You know what I mean? They went more like cinematic in their approach with this album, with all the different kind of skits and interludes, and I don't know, just something about this album feels even bigger, you know what I mean? Not just length, but just like the overall impact of it and just kind of what they're talking about, you know what I mean? They cover all kinds of subjects on this album, and I love this album too. I mean, it's the perfect 1-2 punch, you know what I mean?
Oh, sorry, I'm reading.
No, it's it's all good. I saw that too. Funny, absolutely. I mean, I love this album too. Perfect 1-2 punch if It Takes a Nation, in my opinion. For me, Brother's Gonna Work It Out is probably my favorite song on the entire album. Just that beat alone is phenomenal. And yes, with the guitar, comes in at the perfect time too. Just it's banging. I absolutely love that song. Dope video too. If all the guys trying to party at the beach or whatever, and then the police breaks them up and makes them move for no good reason. And especially back then, it's like people didn't have anything to do back then. It's not like these days when we've got computers and stuff. It's like all you could do was go outside. You know what I mean? And police come through, it's like, oh no, you're causing noise, you're making too much noise, we have to break this up, all that kind of garbage. But 911 is a joke, classic Flavor Flav, classic single, great track. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Oh man, I love that song. Again, just sounds so vital, you know what I mean? That beat alone is just vicious, and Chuck D just sounds incredible over it. Absolutely. I love Who Stole the Soul. That's a real kind of underrated one. Power to the People is dope, so I really like that. Burn Hollywood Burn, like you guys mentioned, incredible. Big Daddy Kane killed that. He really did. Like, obviously, just dope having the 3 of those, Chuck D, Ice Cube, Big Daddy Kane on there. I remember Chuck D said in an interview how hard it was to get that cleared. You know what I mean? 3 separate record labels. Yeah, wow. You know what I mean? Being involved, obviously, Ice Cube was on Priority, Big Daddy Kane was on, Warner Brothers, and Slash Cold Chillin', and PE were on a Def Jam, so it was like really hard apparently to get that all cleared and going, and that was like unheard of at the time in hip hop to have features like that. Obviously, we don't think anything of it these days because it's so common, but back then having 3 separate labels together like that was crazy. I love that song too. And one of my favorite songs, it's pretty short, it's towards the end, it's that War and 33 and a third. My goodness, that is hard as hell, that song. And Chuck D raps so fast on it. It's crazy. He's like lightning on that song. That song is nuts. And Fight the Power, what a great way to end it all off. But incredible album. Easy 5 mics for me. I personally prefer It Takes a Nation, but I'm not mad at anyone who prefers this album. Of course, you can't go wrong either way. For me, It Takes a Nation is a little bit more direct, a little bit more immediate. It's immediate. It's just more like, here's the songs, wham, bam, 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 just kind of blast through it. While Fear of Black Planet is more like a movie. You know what I mean? There's slow moments, there's fast moments, and it all comes together. You know what I mean? Top 3 songs for me. Brother's Gonna Work It Out. I'm gonna go with Welcome to the Terror Dome and War at 33 and a third. Even though it's short, I love it. I love that song.
Yeah, man, that's a great album. Great breakdown, gentlemen.
Yo, Mike, before you get into the next album, right?
I gotta say something too. So go ahead, bro.
All right. So, little trivia. So I was watching an interview. This had to been like in the early '90s or mid '90s or whatever, and the Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates hat that he wore with the yellow P.
Yep.
So he said he actually gotten a letter from the MLB from back in the day telling that he got to stop wearing their hats. But he was like, yeah. And he said that, but I brought that as a consumer.
Racist. I'm sorry.
No, facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He actually got a letter from the MLB saying, like, stop wearing our hat.
When it comes to hip-hop, there's a lot of dope voices in hip-hop.
Yeah.
2 of my favorites being Ice Cube and Jadakiss, just off the top.
Yes.
But my favorite's probably Chuck D. His voice is so fucking dope. Unique, too. Yeah. In your face. Like he's yelling at you, nigga. You know? I love that shit.
Yeah.
Like scorning niggas and shit.
Yeah.
And like the production on these albums is so crazy. Like there's so much going on, but yet his voice is able to cut through it. You know what I mean? And it's crystal clear. You know what I mean? That's hard to do. Not many people could rap on these beats and sound so clear and sort of prominent. So yeah, no, I agree. Bushwick Bill's up there for me as well. I love his voice.
He's from New York originally. He got that Brooklyn accent, some Bushwick. So, but man. Next year, they keep every year, boom, 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 damn near. 91. Come on, man. Public Enemy. Apocalypse 91. The Enemy Strikes Black. Love that play on words. Absolute fucking classic. This is my second favorite PE album, man. Oh my God, man. That Night Train. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Fucking fire. Can't Trust It. One of my favorite songs of all time, period. Shout out to Flavor Flav dropping crack on the ONCB rap, playing that classic. Chuck D was pissed. And before New Jack went to ECW with Smokey Mountain, that was his music. He was in the original Gangsters. Yep. I don't want to be called your nigga. Love that shit. Yo, nigga. Flavor
Flav solo track.
Yep. By the time I get to Arizona, oh my fucking God. Favorite song on the whole fucking album, man. Shut 'Em Down. I love this version, but that Pete Rock version is period. But I good, Ross.
No, I was just gonna say I wish that was on there too.
I know. I wish.
I wish that was the OG.
Fuck out of Dodge and Bring the Nose with Anthrax. Not a big Anthrax fan. I do love Among the Living. It's a great album, but man, fantastic album. A 5 mic again for me. That's so much. I love this. Amazing album. Top 3 songs. By the time we get to Arizona, just the beat on that, the story on that is crazy. Can't Trust It. And Shut 'Em Down, man. Those are my top 3. On Apocalypse 91, The Enemy Strikes Black. I love the album cover too, man. Yeah, that skull and shit in the back.
Yeah, it's dope.
Incredible album, man. The green disc, everything is fire about this amazing album. 1991, classic. No difference from the other ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, she's crazy.
You know, it's funny you said that, Mike, because this is my second favorite album from them too. Little backstory with this album. So while they were making this album, I don't know if you guys noticed a difference in sound. It sounded a little bit different.
Yeah.
So what happened was so the Bomb Squad, they were recording, making beats, throughout the years. And somebody broke into their studio and stole like mad discs. So like, yeah, for the making of the album. So like they had to so some of the songs they had to like kind of redo, and they couldn't really get the same sounds like from before. Cause Mike, I know you used to MC, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that you lost rhymes, right? At some point.
Oh, of course. Yo, it's crazy to think, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like say I was a fucking Nas or Rakim.
I know. I'm just saying.
No. I was nice, bro. I could write songs, choruses.
Yeah.
My boy Will, he's in jail too.
Right.
He taught me how to rap, like how to count the 16s and all that shit.
Okay.
I was that Smack DVD vibe.
Yeah.
Like when I grip the Nina and split your brains on the floor.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. I missed that shit. It was fun, man.
Nah, for sure. I tried that shit. It wasn't for me.
When you would freestyle, it would come naturally. If you writing makes you better. You know what I'm saying? If I tried today, it'd be fucking garbage. But back then, I was nice.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Nah, but like I was saying before, they couldn't get to the right songs. Like the songs like they tried to get before, they couldn't get it. So
yeah,
they met this one cat named Gary G Wiz, who was like a local producer, from Long Island. And they got in like some of the demos and things like that from him, and eventually they like what they heard, and then eventually he did like half the album, and so I like to compare this album to like Mobb Deep's Murder Music, just with Alchemist, how Alchemist changed the sound.
Yeah.
Deep. Kind of the same concept with this album, in my personal opinion. But overall, a dope album. I know there was some critics that didn't really care for the album because of the production.
That's crazy.
But I love it, man. I love the album. I mean,
it's dark.
It's dark, yeah. I mean, you got songs Lost at Birth, fucking love that. Night Train, yo, I prefer the Pete Rock remix. There's two remixes Pete Rock did. The one was called the Get Up, Get Involved Throwdown mix, and the Pete Rock Strong Island Mount Vernon Meltdown mix. I prefer the Get Up and Get Involved Throwdown one. That's the video version that I prefer. I wish it was on the album. I love that song. That's the Night Train song, by the way. Can't Trust It. Fucking love that song.
That beat is crazy.
Yo, that beat, man. The horns. Oh my god. I don't want to be called. Yeah. I don't want to be called nigga, which was a Flavor Flav solo track. How to Kill a Radio Consultant. By the time I get to Arizona, yeah, dope song. More News at 11, fucking dope song right there. A Letter to the New York Post, racist ass newspaper. And last but not least, man, Get the Fuck Out of Dodge, man.
Oh my god, that shit is
that song. Oh, and a little tidbit on Gary G Wiz. He did the score for Juice, like the background music. Yeah, so just a little tidbit on that. Definitely a 5 Mike classic, in my opinion. Top 3 songs for me: Can't Trust It, obviously. Get the Fuck Out of Dodge, and Lost at Birth for me. Those are the 3 songs I love.
Oh,
yeah. Lost at Birth is one of my favorite intros to an album ever. Like that crazy like siren, just the way it kicks off, and like you just have like different samples of Chuck D just saying stuff, love that. What a great way to kick off the album. And then eventually, like 3 minutes into it, there is a verse from Chuck, you know what I mean? It's like you think there isn't going to be one, and then he hits you like out of nowhere. It's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I love that. What a great way to kick off the album. Night Train, love that song too. Even the album version is dope, you know what I mean? I like the kind of chaotic nature of it. The production's definitely a bit different on this album, but it still has that Public Enemy sounds, you know what I mean? They haven't lost that. Maybe it's not as chaotic and it's like crazy as Favorite Black Planet or It Takes a Nation. It's maybe a little bit more palatable to a wider audience slightly, but even then, it still has that sound. Night Train, I think, is a great example of that. Can't Trust It, classic single. Love that song. I Don't Want to Be Called Your Nigga by Flavor Flav. That's my all-time favorite song he's done. I think that's such a great track, and I love the production for that too, with the guitar and everything.
Yes,
it really bangs, that song.
It has like a blues kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, or even like maybe like a 70s kind of feel to it. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. By the Time I Get to Arizona, one of my favorite music videos of all time. And the production on that is just bananas. Really, really awesome. Talking about basically at that time, I believe it was the Arizona governor had canceled Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You know what I mean? And basically the song was kind of like a protest against that, like saying, why, like, what the fuck? Like, why are you canceling this,
John McCain.
Right, okay.
Yep, John McCain.
So, yeah, just, another, classic PE track right there. One of my favorite songs is Move. I think that's a really underrated one. Again, classic kind of P, like very fast paced, up tempo kind of stuff. And really like that track a lot. 1 Million Bottle Bag, talking about alcoholism and people basically living out of those brown bags. You know what I mean? I think that's a dope song. The only thing that is a bit annoying with some tracks, I know it's definitely the case with that one. And there's some editing on this album, which is a bit of a shame. Like some cuss words are taken out, which is a bit of a shame. Not a big deal because they don't, PE don't swear that much typically, but just it's something that it's noticeable on certain tracks. Shut Them Down.
That has to be a Def Jam thing because that even happened in some songs like in the late 90s too. I noticed that.
EPMD with Business Never Personal, they had that. Yeah. I noticed with this album, I don't think it has a parental advisory on the front, so maybe that's a part of it too. I don't know. Yeah, but Shut 'Em Down, love that too. I love the Pete Rock remix. It's not on there, but I still love the album version. You know what I mean? That beat is hard. Just real like punch you in the face. Like, oh, yeah, dope. Again, I think this album is underrated. You know what I mean? This is just as good as the first four, you know what I mean, or the first three, rather. It is like, you know what I mean. Again, no bad songs on it. I love the whole thing. You know what I mean. Maybe like the Bring the Noise version of Anthrax. I kind of view that more as like a kind of like a bonus track at the end of the album. You know what I mean. It doesn't really fit in fully for me. You know what I mean. But the rest of the album, I think, is just flawless, really. For me, I'm going to give it a number 5. You know what I mean? I love it, and I agree with you guys as far as like this is my second favorite as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love this album. My top 3, I'm going to go with Night Train, By the Time I Get to Arizona, and Move. That's probably my top 3. But yeah, I love this album. It's so good, and it doesn't get its props. I don't get why.
I agree. And 91 is a very slept-on year for hip-hop.
Oh,
one of my favorites.
It's me being the metalhead. It's a great year for metal too, death metal and shit too.
Oh yeah,
so many bangers. And hip-hop, man. Jesus Christ. I love 91. So around 92, 93, going to 94, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the era when Flav was getting arrested a lot. Yeah,
he was really heavy into addiction.
I remember not even being a hip hop head until 95, but I remember seeing him on the news.
Yeah,
he had braids and shit. I remember that. That's vivid in my mind.
Yeah, 91, yep.
And then in 94 they dropped Muse Sick-N-Hour-Mess-Age, like the play on words on that. Let me pull I don't own it physically, but one day I'll get it. They just pull it up real quick. Look at the album cover.
It's dumb cheap. So
album cover is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
All of their album covers for these albums that we're talking about are incredible. Like some of the best.
Absolutely.
I love that. That's so good.
I would love to get it on a shirt, man.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So to be honest, man, I didn't listen to this album until quite recently, man. Ross and Steve put me on this record because when growing up as a kid, my uncle's like, yo, stop at fucking Apocalypse 91, man. So you need you know what I'm saying? Like the first couple records and But this album's fucking good, man. It's long.
It is.
But I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? It's hardcore.
Yeah.
And for the time, I love this fucking album, man. This is a great album. The coverage is crazy. You know what I'm saying? The symbolism in that is insane. Look at the track list pulled up. I already got my 3, but I'll talk about that a little later. But around '94, niggas are all about Death Row. You know what I'm saying? Big Nas. So the popularity on them wasn't that popping, but man,
yeah,
I feel like I should listen to this album a long time ago, man, because it's a great album. Even the skits tie in as well, like every other album they have. You got, Give It Up. It's a great song.
Yeah.
Bedlam 1313. I love that song. Race Against Time is a great song. It's not a song, but a skit, but it's kind of dope, like the kind of lingo the niggas are talking about, the death of a carjacker. God Complex, Hitler Day is fucking fire.
Ooh, yeah,
he kills that shit. Like I said, a little too long, but it's definitely a dope album. My top, I would give it 4 mics, and top 3 songs would be Living on Drug, parts 1 and 2, What Side You On, Bedlam 1313. It's a good album. It ain't as good as the other ones, in my personal opinion, but it's grimy. That's what I like about it. You know what I'm saying? That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah, dope breakdown, man.
Thanks, brother.
I definitely agree. This is my 3rd favorite album from them. Very slept on, very underrated. Like you said, Mike, by this time, 1994, gangster rap was on the rise. That was considered commercial music for that time. So that was overshadowing a lot of stuff, including this release. By that time, a lot of people were saying like Public Enemy was kind of like out of touch. They were like anti-gangster rap, that kind of thing. The difference with this album too is the production. With the production, they were using a lot more organic production, meaning like more live instrumentation, a lot more guitars and things like that. So it wasn't as sample heavy as like their first 4 albums. You know what I mean? I just love the way it sounded. It just sounds so dope. Like it definitely screams 1994, but without it being dated, if that makes sense. Songs that I like is Whole Lot of Love Going On, In the Middle of Hell, Give It Up. What Side You On? Love that joint. Bedlam 1313. What Kind of Power We Got? I love that song, but I prefer the video version. I wish that version was on this album. That's just my personal opinion. So What You Gonna Do Now? That's dope. Live and Undrugged Part 1 and 2. Thin Line Between Law and Hate and Rape. I Stand Accused. One of my favorite Easy Mo beats. Oh my god, killed that shit. Hitler Day and hold up, my bad. And Living in the Zoo remix. Yeah, very underrated album. And like I said, this is at the time, PE, their popularity wasn't as big as it was back in the late 80s, early 90s. Like I said, a lot of people saying they were out of touch. I can definitely see that. But I think they were still relevant, but it's just unfortunate because of the albums before, like the albums that was popping at the time, like Illmatic and, the Chronic album, Doggy Style, Warren G's album, shit like that was popping at that time. But my top 3 songs, I get it as a 4 mic album as well. But it's definitely my 3rd, like I said, my 3rd favorite. Top 3 songs for me is What Side You On, Live and Undrugged Part 1 and 2, and I Stand Accused. Those are my top 3 songs of this album.
This is your 3rd favorite?
It's my 3rd favorite.
What's your top 2?
My top two are Fear of a Black Planet and Apocalypse 91.
You got this over It Takes a Nation?
Absolutely. Huh?
You got this album over It Takes a Nation?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my god.
I do.
Oh, all respect to you, Steve. I just talking about shit, my nigga.
No, you're good. I love it. I love it. I love this shit. I love it.
You know, when I say something while Steve goes, what? That's funny.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, this shit's grimy. I love it though.
Yeah, it's dark, and I love it. I love the production.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot more cursing on this album compared to the previous ones too. You know, what side you on? What motherfucking side you on? Like, there's a lot more cussing on this album.
What side? Oh, that's fire.
Yo, matter of fact, I think is either that song, or So What You Gonna Do Now? Wasn't that on the Higher Learning soundtrack? One of those songs?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
Okay, cause I know there was a video from one of them shits, and I remember seeing the scenes of Higher Learning in the videos and shit with Remy and shit. So
yeah, I know. So What You Gonna Do Now? It definitely has a video. I've seen that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like this album. I agree with what you guys said. You know, very underrated, very slept on. I like the production. Obviously, yeah, like what you said, a Mobile Arty one, like the production, definitely different from their previous albums, but it was still dope, and it still had that. I don't know. It still felt like Public Enemy to me. I mean, it was dark, but at the same time complex. And you know, fit in with like the different subject matter that they're talking about. Again, you know, all kind of range of different subjects. You know, some positive shit on there, but at the same time, you know, definitely pointing out a lot of the ills that are going on. You know, with song titles like Hitler Day. You know, but this is, you know, going to get into this is some, you know, some rough stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, I really like this album a lot. You know, my favorite song is probably that Live and Undrugged parts 1 and 2. I think that's dope. I think that's a really good song.
That made my top 3.
Yeah, I really like that song. I really like So What You Gonna Do Now as well. You know, it's a very like anti-gangster kind of rap song, even though I love that stuff. I just love the way Chuck delivers it, you know, talking about that drive-by shit. Everybody's on that gangster tip, you know what I mean? Just you know what I mean? He sounds pissed on that song, you know. Yeah, that sounds dope. Yeah, I really like this album. It's probably, I agree with Mike, it's probably a bit long. You know, maybe you could have trimmed it down a little bit.
It's bloated, bro.
It's a bit bloated, yeah. I can't really disagree with that. It does kind of drag on a bit, but you know, most of the songs are dope. You know, I can't really say there's anything whack on there. I think that, you know, I know it's one of your favorites, Steve. You know that What Kind of Power We Got. I think it's a little long though. You know what I mean? 5.5 minutes. You know, I think they go around the chorus a few too many times at the end. It's like, yeah, I got it. We can move on. But yeah, no, still a dope track. Yeah, my top 3 songs in this would probably be What Side You On, Live and Undrugged parts 1 and 2, and what other one? Kind of thinking of this off the top of my head. Probably So What You Gonna Do Now. But yeah, I really like this song. I really like Give It Up. Of course, that was like the big single. You know what I mean? That's a fly track. You know, fuck the 40 ounce. You know, I like that shit. I sue those bastards. Now they got to bounce. You know what I mean? Yeah, dope track. Yeah, I Stand Accused. That song is dope. You know what I mean? Dope video too. And I have the single for that, I believe, somewhere.
I showed that in one of your CD collections.
Yeah. And it has a B-side that's not on the album called like Mao. It's like some Chinese name. It's decent. It's all right. It's not that good, but yeah. I like this album. I agree with you guys. I'm gonna give it 4 mics. You know, it's a very good, enjoyable album all the way through. Yes, a little bit long, but you know, the production's still dope. Chuck D is still very much on top of his game as far as lyrics and delivery and all that kind of stuff goes. And you know, it's overall a very good album. It doesn't really get much recognition, unfortunately, due to the time of when it came out. You know, PE were kind of seen as veterans, and kind of, you know, hip hop was so fast moving back then. You know what I mean? Stuff that came out 5 years ago felt like, I don't know, 15 years ago to people back then. You know what I mean? It was like, that's how fast moving it was.
And like,
but,
I'm good, bro. My bad,
no problem. It's no, I was just saying, like, it's just a shame that, you know, this album unfortunately kind of gets snowed under all those releases. But yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because like, even like teenagers in the projects back then weren't fucking with them really. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even in the movie Clockers, they kind of diss them. When they're sitting on the bench and Sticky Fingers like, they don't rap about shoot niggas. gonna rap about shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, whatever. But yeah, man, it's a good album. I fucks with it. You want to touch on the B-side joint, right? Or
the greatest misses.
The misses joint, yeah.
All right, so pretty much at the time, this was released in 1992. Dope project. I highly recommend you guys checking that out. But pretty much what it is, so the story with that was that, Def Jam wanted them to do a greatest hits album.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah, fuck that. We're not doing that. So they had some songs laying around in the stash. And instead of calling it the greatest hits, they called it the greatest misses. So the first couple of songs were songs that were supposed to be on Apocalypse 91 that didn't make the album. But then there was also some like remixes that they recorded around that time. Like songs like Louder Than a Bomb, the Jam Master Jay, Telephone Tap Groove. Fucking love that shit. That shit goes hard.
I like that more than the proper one.
Oh, me
the
too.
Album version. Yeah.
Me too. Then you got the How to Kill a Radio Consultant, DJ Chuck Chill Out, Mega Murder Boom. That was dope. You got songs like Hit the Road Jack. Matter of fact, Mike, if you've seen the first scene where you see Dequan or whatever his name was, Bokeem Woodbine, riding the bike through the city, that Public Enemy song, that's Hit the Road Jack. That's the song that's playing in the background.
Strapped, right?
Yeah, Strapped, yup. What else? Gotta do what I do. I believe that was on the Trespass soundtrack.
Dope soundtrack.
Yeah, dope soundtrack. Air Hoodlum, that was dope. The Mega Blast, the Mad Skills, Bass Pipe, Get Off the remix. It's a dope compilation album, man. I highly recommend it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, dope. It came out in 92, like I said. It is out of print, but you get it for dirt cheap. So
yeah, I like that a lot too. The big single from that was Hazy Shade of Criminal, which I love that song.
Very, very dope.
Yeah, the beat on that is bananas. I can't really believe that was like an outtake. You know what I mean? It's so dope. I don't, it would have been perfect on Apocalypse 91. But yeah, love that track. That's probably my favorite. Like, it's worth getting it for that alone. Put it that way. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, Ty Goes to the Runner. That's pretty dope. Hit the Road Jack and all. That's pretty good too. Got to do what I got to do. Like you said, from the Trespass soundtrack, that's a dope track. As far as the remixes go, yeah, that Louder Than a Bomb Jam Master Jay remix, oh my god, like I said, I like that better than the album version, and the album version is dope. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, something about that JMJ version is fire. And they even have at the end they have the Shut 'Em Down Pete Rock remix, but they instead of putting the actual remix on there, they put like a rip from when they performed it on The Word, which is the UK show that they had on Channel 4 over here. So instead of putting like the actual remix there, they like kind of got like the audio from that and put it on there. So it sounds kind of crappy. I wish they put the actual Pete Rock remix on there. I don't know.
That's stupid.
Don't get why they did that. It is stupid, yeah. But yeah, it is a dope compilation, and like you said, like pretty cheap and worth checking out for sure. It's kind of like the way I split it. Like it's kind of like split into two halves. The first half is like an EP, and then the second half is like remixes. You know what I mean? It's pretty dope.
Right.
In the last P album I heard was from '98. I love the fucking movie. He Got Game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Soundtrack's pretty dope.
Yeah, I like that album.
After that,
yeah.
I'll be honest. I'll keep it 1,000. After that, I don't know shit. So.
Yeah, I mean, He Got Game. You got some DR period production on that album, which is really dope.
DR period DR.
Yeah, and some dope features. You got Master Killer, KRS-One, Smooth the Hustler. You know what I mean? That's dope shit as far as that goes. Resurrection. You know what I mean? That first track, that's pretty far. The He Got Game. The title track. With the Buffalo Springfield sample. You know what I mean? That's pretty fly. I like that a lot. House of the Rising Sun, that's probably my favorite song on the album. But there's a few kind of weak tracks. I do remember not like loving it, but I thought it was pretty good. I like that album. Personally.
It was a decent album. Like you said, the DR period production. Yeah, Was Resurrection, was that the one that used the James Bond sample?
I can't remember.
It was
Yeah, I'm
one of
not
those
sure.
songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like PE, they did a song on the Bullworth soundtrack, which was pretty dope. I really enjoyed that. That was dope. Forgot the name. I think it's called Kill It Live or some shit like that. I don't remember, but that shit goes hard.
Yeah, I need to check that. I don't think I've heard that.
It's a dope soundtrack, Bullworth. Came out
Yeah.
99, some shit like that.
Except that whack ass
Ghetto Superstar. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm not joking. Every day, come home from school,
Yeah.
get a drink. My grandma's playing on the stereo. It's like, oh my God, every day and night. All the bitches loved it in my. Oh my God, school and shit. Yeah, I love Dirty.
Yeah. And
I
it's,
love Fugees, but.
Yeah, if ODB wasn't really supposed to be on that song, wasn't that the story? He kind of.
I think he came in drunk, like he was mad bent. He just came in and threw his verse, and there we go. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Fucking just like he did with Insane Clown Posse on the Amazing Jekyll Brothers, some bitches.
Yeah.
He just said a bunch of fucking words, and Mikey Clark like pieced it together, and it sounds dope. I love that song. So. Yeah, Dirty was just wilding back in that 98, 99 time frame. But yeah, man, Public Enemy Discography discussion, man. Breakdown rather 87, 94. Highly enjoyed this, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gonna hop off here, Ross? You want to talk?
Yeah, I'll probably hop off. Yeah.
I'm gonna hop off too. I'm gonna get some meat and shit.
Likewise, okay.
And you guys did like 2 shows today, so probably deserve a break.
Yeah. And I gotta record for Luke Cage. I'll do that right now. Get out the fucking way. But yeah, man. Highly enjoyed this, man. Next week, me and Ross, I don't know if Steven's in Arizona or whatever, but we're doing Tupac, All Eyes on Me, because a couple of days it marks 25 years since the passing of the late great Tupac Amaru Shakur. So
yeah,
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, and I know back in the day, you would watch a Mobile RD1's videos, and I quote, "Oh, I fucking hate that album."
What After Death too, man.
Yeah. I have a different appreciation for that album.
Oh, same here, nigga. I like Black Rain. Who thought that day would fucking happen?
Yeah.
I own it. Yo, that shit with Heavy D and Stretch, fucking fire, bro. It's a great album.
It happens to us, so Mike didn't like Kool Keith for a while.
No, but this is the funny thing. I always like Ultramagnetic though. I always love,
Right.
Yeah.
But when I heard that, I'm like, oh fuck this. That's when I was just gangster shit all day. But I love Kool Keith now. Fucking,
Yeah.
It happens.
His new stuff now is kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
I gotta check it out. I didn't really check nothing out. But
all
right, fellas. Pac next Saturday.
Yes, sir.
See y'all niggas there, man.
Peace.
Yep.
Peace, y'all.